here in the city, shrouded in smoke. 10 million people this morning awoke to a future of cancer, industrial disease. So let's build some more suburbs and buy SUVs. Cut down the mountains, burn all the coal, and put all the money in a humongous bowl. They'll call it progress and they'll blame it on you to end life as we know it, to enrich the few. I'm talking to you from here at the end of the world.
Our life, for sure, First Nation people, the life for the price of the oil they're taking out of our land here. They spoil, they ruin our water, the air, pretty much everything else, the animals, the berries, all our livelihood. That's what we used to live on, the fish, everything. We can't, there's no more, we can't eat fish from the river, we can't drink the water, we get sick from all that pollution, people are getting sick, and people are dying of cancer, whereas there never used to be like that since the plants. And I'm sure I can, I'm just, I'm very positive there that this has got something to do with the air and the water. The pollution is doing something to our people. All these young people are dying at young age of cancer, and it's just something unbelievable. It's been really bad since, especially after they put the other plant there. Because it wasn't it was bad enough when they just had the one plant. Now they put two of them there side by side. Now it's worse, because now we're getting all that sulfur, and all that stuff from the stacks. They say there's hundreds of kind of chemicals coming out of that stack, and it's all toxic, deadly poison. So I blame that on people being sick.
I think to start off with, you have to look at the effects of climate, which have not been considered in any of the oil sands approvals. In fact, both the Alberta government and the Energy and Utilities Board have refused to consider that climate is changing. But what's been happening is that evaporation and the loss from trees, called transpiration, have been going up as temperature goes up. And as a rule of thumb, places on the Athabasca River have had a warming already of 2 to 3 degrees Celsius as an annual average, and much more than that in the wintertime, with big losses of snowpacks. So the effect has been roughly like having an invisible oil sands plant added to that river every 2 years.
Ruining the land, and the pollution around here is just like ridiculous. Like, it's scary. Like, it's just the tip of the iceberg, like with Syncrude and Suncor and Albion across the river, and they have Aurora just to the north of that. And then after that, they haven't even started breaking. Well, they broke ground at Petrocan, and then we have on this side of the river, we have CNRL and Deer Creek who are going to do some open pit mining too. And we're totally surrounded.
So a lot of the applications that have been approved in the very recent year, in the last 6 months, a year, or in the last 3 to 5 years, much of those operations are just now being constructed, or are maybe 1 or 2 others, aside from Syncrude and Suncor, are fully operational.
We must have about 30 plants around here surrounding us. We're surrounded by plants. Oh yeah, every which direction, you know, they're all around us. They're all around us. And there's two up above us here. Those are the worst ones. They're the worst polluters. They are really bad.
Which two are those?
That's Syncrude, Suncor. They're the worst ones. You know, because they're so close to us too. You know, I mean the other ones are close too, but they're using steam, so it's not as you know, they don't have stacks and you know like they have here at these plants, these two plants.
If we had a map, and you can just see like in the last 30, 40 years that since Suncor first started, and then they have Syncrude now, and they're two massive projects, right? And they have offshoots of these things here, right? Whereas Suncor, they're gone across the river, and they started their Suncor fire bag, and that's just huge too, right? But that's SAGD, where they go underneath the ground and pump it back up. But like these open pit mines, it's like Suncor, Syncrude. I mean, it's just like what they've done in the last 30, 40 years is just shocking. I hate to use that word shocking, but it is because, but the people that, like I live here, right? And I know, and you can just look over, if you can just look behind you and see Syncrude, that's just like, that's what you could see. That's not, like, at night, we call it Stinkrude, it's not Syncrude, it's Stinkrude. And that's the same thing with Suncor. And because under the cover of darkness, they let out all their, like, major pollutants at night, eh? That's what they do, because I know it, because I worked here for 10 years. And I worked a lot of shift work there, and I used to watch that. Because I know when it's dark, that's when they let all that shit go.
The impacts are enormous. I mean, they're astronomical in my estimation. And I think the destruction to the land, the environment, the pollution to the water and so on, is probably on a scale that is probably larger than we've ever seen anywhere in the world. So fundamentally, from a treaty rights de facto extinguishment of our rights by government not consulting us, to the environmental impacts, the degradation to the land that we're seeing, to the issues of water, not only quality of water as an issue as far as environmental impacts from the multitude of oil sands projects, but also the quantity of water, because in order to produce a barrel of crude oil, as an example, requires anywhere from 3 to 5 barrels of water. So it's very water intensive as far as producing crude oil,